Welcome to this week's edition of Sun News at Noon. I'm Katie Walker.
And I'm Keziah Philpott. Thanks for tuning in.
A 21-year-old St. George man is facing nearly a dozen first-degree charges after detectives recovered 17 videos and 34 images of child sexual abuse on his cell phone. Hunter Thomas Phillips was arrested on Monday after a report was filed that he was inappropriately messaging a 13-year-old boy. When investigators arrived at the suspect's location, they encountered Predator Poachers, which is a civilian organization that conducts sting operations to identify adults engaging in illegal sexual activities with children. The civilian group had been posing as the young boy as a decoy. The group had collected evidence to use against Phillips according to the probable cause statement. Police transported Phillips to the St. George Police Department, where he admitted to meeting the supposed 13-year-old on an online app. He also told police that he was part of a group chat that had access to and would share child sexual abuse material. Phillips has been formally charged and is awaiting a court hearing in the Purgatory Correctional Facility in Washington County.
A college student was critically injured in a car crash while traveling to Zion on Friday. A Subaru Outback containing three 18-year-old students veered into the median, which resulted in the car rolling multiple times on I-15. Just south of mile marker 33. One of the passengers was ejected from the car, sustaining a broken leg and other undisclosed injuries, while the other two passengers only had minor injuries. Authorities said the reason for the crash may have been caused by a distraction inside the vehicle. However, the investigation is still ongoing.
An inmate in the Washington County Purgatory Correctional Facility died this weekend due to an alleged medical emergency regarding respiratory issues. They were found in medical distress during routine cell checks Friday morning at approximately 1:30 a.m. A written statement from the Washington County Sheriff's Office stated that officers encountered an issue with the individual's breathing. Life-saving measures were performed by facility staff as emergency personnel were dispatched. Life-saving efforts were administered, however, the inmate was pronounced dead at the scene. The Washington County Critical Incident Task Force is conducting an investigation into the death, which is still ongoing.
The University of Utah is one of 45 universities being investigated by the U.S. Department of Education's Office for Civil Rights for alleged race exclusionary practices. The investigation's goal is to eliminate using ethnicity factors in hiring, scholarships, and administration. The university responded by releasing a public statement that said it adjusted operations last year after Utah legislature ended the diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. The school closed their identity-based cultural center and restructured student services to abide to the law. I talked to two students who attend the university about how closing DEI programs have affected student life on campus.
Feel like the conversation of DEI happens a lot within the students. All of the students are very concerned about like what this means for international students or students of color. Right. But I feel like a lot of faculty and higher ups don't want to speak on the injustices. Yeah, I know a lot of our like student clubs that were more like DEI focused, and like I know like the PISA group at the U ended up separating from the U completely because of like the DEI and like all the resources being shut down.
Since DEI stopped being a thing, they have to open up their application to more than just people of color and more than just people that are in need of FAFSA and stuff like that. So it's like we don't feel like a community anymore because now it's just open to the whole world. I've had no access to any scholarships anymore. Whereas during my undergrad, all of my scholarships were diversity, equity, and inclusion based.
Conversation of these like race exclusionary practices have been in like conversation for a long time.
They've been around for a while.
Yeah. There's constantly, especially now that all the resources have been shut down, like there have been a lot of library sit-ins or just different like protests because we aren't receiving that support anymore. And we're not allowed to use this language of diversity.
I was used for a lot of like monetization to be on the cover of magazines and all that other stuff. And I never got compensated for it. And whenever I brought it up that, hey, it's because I am your only face of diversity, they would turn it down. I wish we would still be able to get the support that we needed from the U itself, so that we could continue to have these communities and continue to have these conversations without the worry of who's listening.
Public labor unions are racing against time in their efforts to pass a referendum against House Bill 267, as this bill banned collective bargaining for Utah unions. This directly affects teachers, firefighters, and police unions. Governor Spencer Cox publicly stated his distaste for the bill, despite signing it on Valentine's Day after his comment. It narrowly cleared February 6th, with the final vote being 16-13. The referendum needs 141,000 signatures in 30 days to make it successful, which is 8% of Utah voters in at least 15 different counties. Voters can find the nearest site to sign the bill by scanning the QR code on the screen.
On Tuesday, Governor Spencer Cox signed a law that protects the children of online content creators in Utah following Ruby Franke's 8-passenger scandal. This law comes with the encouragement of Kevin Franke, husband of Ruby Franke. The law gives former child stars a pathway to remove all online content they were featured in as minors. The new law also requires content-creating parents who make more than $150,000 a year to set aside 15% into a fund that the children can access when they turn 18. In other news, the Utah Tech Student Association and the international offices partnered together to bring the annual Taste Around the World event to campus last night.
I think it's important to just show people cultures from around the world, especially the international students here. They come from a lot of different countries, so it's really cool to see the dishes that they make and to kind of just spread that awareness and that love, especially because they love to make this kind of stuff. I think it's really cool to do this kind of event.
So I'm here today with the Indigenous Student Organization. My little sister is the president, and we've made some fry bread for everybody today. It's a food that represents like the resilience of the people, because it comes from back in like the beginning of the reservation era with like the food rations that the U.S. government would give us, and it's just something that a lot of tribes came together and like it's become like a unanimous kind of food that we can share with each other. Oh, we're happy to be here. Thanks for sharing food with us.
It's been really tasty. I've tasted around the world, as some might say, and it's been awesome. It's been perfect. I've seen some friends, I've tasted some food, had some cornbread.
It's just so nice to travel to different countries, but like not leaving the college. So it's great.
Taste Around the World is one of my favorite events every single year. It's such a great opportunity to be exposed to so many different cultures.
I wish I went. I could smell the cornbread from my apartment across the street. It looked so good, and it looked so much fun too.
Coming up after the break, sports anchor Katie Phipps will bring you all of the latest Trailblazer highlights.
If you haven't seen Utah Tech University lately, chances are you haven't seen it at all. With hands-on polytechnic learning across 300 academic programs, 30 new and renovated state-of-the-art facilities, the most affordable university tuition in the state, and 300 days of sunshine. Why look anywhere else? Discover why Utah Tech was recently named one of Education Magazine's 10 prominent universities and colleges to watch. Join us and experience the active learning, active life difference at Utah Tech.
In the southwest corner of Utah, nestled among the towering walls of Zion National Park, is a place where stunning scenery is your constant companion. Here, 2,400 square miles combine for a vast playground. We are a place to immerse yourself, to lose yourself, to find yourself. We are Greater Zion.
The weather is heating up, and so are Utah Tech recreational clubs. Aside from cheering on our NCAA spring athletes, there are so many ways to get outside this spring, including the Utah Tech Spikeball Club. The club intended to have their first tournament of the year last weekend, but due to a lack of signups, they had to cancel. Club president Robin Mendoza said the club plans to reschedule the tournament for April and are undecided on a date. Mendoza encourages students to join and says Spikeball is for everyone. We have a wide range of different skill levels in our club, from first-time players to elite players. At the end of the day, we all come out to play because the weather in St. George is too nice not to play. You can get involved by showing up tonight for their weekly meeting at 5 p.m. in the North Encampment Mall. Utah Tech women's track opened up their season at home with 3 program records at the Utah Tech Invitational last weekend. The 4x100 meter relay team clocked in the first record of the weekend on Saturday, coming in 3rd place with a time of 46.29 seconds from athletes Rashana Gibson, Whitney Christensen, Brittany Kuhn, and Adora Okafor. Senior Lexi Larson claimed the second record of the weekend with her 2nd place finish in the 1500 meters with a time of 4 minutes and 32.24 seconds, breaking her previous program record by more than 3 seconds. Whitney Christensen also had a 2nd record-breaking race and a 1st place finish in the 400 meters with a time of 54.79 seconds. Head coach Derek Atkins said, "We've got to build from here and keep going. The ladies really showed up and they competed today." The Trailblazers will head down to Las Vegas for the UNLV Rebel Elite Meet on April 4th and 5th. Utah Tech softball swept their doubleheader against Utah Valley University on Friday, but got tripped up in their last game of the series, ending the 3-game series 2-1. I spoke with junior outfielder Sadie Gardner about the weekend against Utah Valley.
I think building off of each little victory that we had, each little at-bat that we had that was a win, any defensive win, even pitching wins, just building off of that momentum really helped us. I think we kind of went in thinking, oh, we won the first 2 games and didn't go in thinking it was going to be a fight. It just didn't seem like we tried as hard. Just gotta take the momentum we get when we're doing well and continue to build off of that and just really hype each other up when we win the small things, whether it's one pitch or there's an awesome play, just hyping each other up. It is a privilege to be here and it can be taken away at any time, so just really enjoying the time we have here because it's not gonna last forever. Enjoying the teammates and friendships that you build on the field.
Softball returns to play in Abilene, Texas versus Abilene Christian University this weekend, March 28th and 29th. I have been very much enjoying this warm weather, and I might just have to join the Spike Ball Club tonight.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity to get into the sunshine, meet some new people, and maybe get your butt kicked at some spike ball.
I think we all need to make a team now. I can see it now, the Sun News Spikers. That's good.
Yes, hopefully when the new tournament is rescheduled, we can all make a team and compete together. And that's it for this week's edition of Sun News at Noon.
We will see you here next week, same time, same place.
Have a great week, Trailblazers.